Hey everybody, Nemo060 here. I have just watched a Big R2K6's discussion with Darkstream217 and Jim81 and Jim on Blip TV about this whole Islam e-drama that's been going on recently, and it seems to be dying down a little bit, I'd say, but still a bit going on with the discussions and the arguments over the mosque on Ground Zero. If you want my opinions on that, I will put it quite simply here. It's going to be built 2 blocks away. It's renovating a building that's already there. And it's already in a religious area where Muslims were already using the place to pray to their chosen deity in the first place. So as Jim81Jim has actually said in the video, it's a non-issue. However, I think I can perhaps provide a bit of neutrality when it comes to perhaps this whole issue of the e-drama thing. While I can't say for sure, it really does feel that Thunderfoot in his videos were just trying to wind people up. He was just trying to, really push how far he could, do free speech and say, haha, you're not going to get me, I can piss you off all you want and you're not going to do a thing to me, which in my personal opinion is childish. But when he was at the League of Reason blog TV calling question show thing, he seemed like a completely different person. He was a lot more calm, he got his facts straight, he went straight to the point, and even when dealing with Truthful Christian, he just did not seem hateful at all. I almost couldn't believe that this was the person who had done those videos, on drawing Muhammad. And I think I have a little bit of defence to say kind of on that subject, because while it wasn't a success in the sense that we really achieved anything in the world, I think the way that people were treating it, it couldn't be nothing but a success unless every single one of us was nuked to the ground 3 seconds after making that video. Basically, it was to stand up for free speech in the West and say that we are not going to be bullied out of what we want to say, and if you don't like it, you can just fuck off. And what do you know, the very unlikely situation did not come to pass. We did not get attacked, we did not get threatened, we didn't really get anyone. In Dawah films, the only thing that came of it was idiots showing themselves to be bigoted and Dawah films getting insulted, when really he's he really is just a peaceful guy. And he's been quote mined loads of times really, and his words have been taken out of context so many times, and context is something that people seem to be forgetting. I think there's a difference. We need to establish and really draw a line between a difference between criticising and just plain insulting. When are we making a legitimate criticism about a person's actions or a group's actions, and when are we just insulting them? Because this seems to be where the confusion lies with the whole, if you're insulting black people, then it's called racism, but if you're insulting Muslims, it's called free speech. And that's the thing. Technically all is free speech, but it's not all hate speech. If I talk about how the fundamentalism is the greatest great problem in the world today because of the threat it does to education, and how that this attitude is dumbing down people and will be ultimately destructive to the world's knowledge at large, and people trying to enforce teaching pseudoscience in classrooms like intelligent design, that's criticism. However, if I just go and call people sand niggers, as so many have been lovingly say it, that's not criticism. That's just plain insulting. That's you being a fucking douchebag. Plain and simple. You have all the right to be a douchebag, but it's no more, constructive or helpful to this world than any creationist goes and says, how about atheists are all amoral, sinful, demonic beings. And this is the thing. I think the problem today is a lack of humanism in the world. What we need is not to be saying, oh, all religious beliefs, belong in the Dark Ages and should no longer exist. And, well, I kind of agree with that statement in the fact that I think that I'll say it this way, I think religious literalism and, replacing all known scientific investigation with pure mysticism, like the ancients, that belongs in the Dark Ages. However, with modern theological beliefs, even if they don't logically follow, they are not threatening. And I say that it's anything threatening. It's like threatening knowledge that belongs in the Dark Ages and not in the 21st century. It's, saying, you go your way, I'll go mine, and just live and let live kind of thing. And, well, obviously that's never going to happen, unfortunately. I think you get my point, that it should be more about, what education is and how it's going to be affecting the world at large. If I believe this, the magical sky daddy put into place, let's say the flying spaghetti monster. If I believe that the flying spaghetti monster, uses his magical noodly appendage to reach down and infuse the first bacteria to, start multiplying, and the first, life to merge together, become the first single-celled organisms, and so on and so forth, and start the whole process of evolution, what harm is that doing? I can't think of any harm. It's accepting science, albeit in a bit of a, a kind of modified way, if you will. It's still accepting all that, and yet it's still holding some mystical and supernatural beliefs which comfort the person. Is it necessary? No. Is it harmful? No. I think that's what should be, far more important. And I think defending free speech is important. We should be active about ensuring that, literal Sharia law or any sort of religious doctrine is being enforced. We should make sure that doesn't happen. We should make sure that our politicians know that the ones making the laws, stick to the laws of freedom of speech and allow the diversity and all manners of speech, regardless of whether, they are positive or negative. That should be respected. And this is one reason why people have been campaigning on YouTube over the years to protect the censorship. Unfortunately, YouTube is a corporation. They care more about money than anything else, and they want to avoid all the legal trouble, which is kind of understandable. The thing is, this is a large forum for freedom of speech, which is, something that we need to protect. I don't think I'd get a lot of my messages out if it wasn't for YouTube. I'll kind of close this off as I don't want to go and ramble on too much. Lots of things I agree with and some I disagree with on both sides. There should be some are saying that it should be a line between hate speech and constructive speech, I will say, for lack of a better word. And I also think that we should not think in black and white terms. We need to be trying to understand the processes and the thought patterns behind a person. This is one thing that's got me. This is why I'm interested in psychology and why I'm studying counselling. I'm understanding what I'll take the REBT model, rational emotive behaviour therapy. Basically, we need to look at the actions, the beliefs that come from these actions, and the consequences of these actions. We need to follow this pattern and evaluate whether, the beliefs are rational to the actions and whether the consequences for that are constructive or destructive. Because in a destructive manner, then it's not going to help anyone and we're all going to be at loss. focused on constructive thinking, finding middle grounds, and we're fine to say we disagree. I personally am not really fond of anti-apologetic, philosophy. To me it makes sense, but, really, I don't think it personally achieves much. But if you want to talk about that, then whatever floats your boat. But the same goes for those who are non-religious. We should not categorise people as good and bad, and we should avoid straw-manning their arguments or exaggerating the things that they've said. I don't like Pat Condell. I think he's rather bigoted and misinformed, and I think Thunderfort's recent actions have been really poorly worded, even if his heart is in the right place, which may be considerably questionable. Once again, it's the lack of humanistic values and compromises and constructive thinking rather than destructive thinking that is the problem. The issue has nothing to do with whether you're an atheist or religious person. This is Nine060, and I shall see you all on the dark side of the moon. Off and away.